Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy podcast with the Traders.
G'day with the Traders. Thanks to Sportsbet, I'm Roy. I coach Destroy, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the Wonder.
And Calvin.
Coach of Calvinator.
Boys, another one's down. Another round.
Another one's down. 6 to go.
God, there's a lot happening.
There is. It's been a big week. We had a massive week last week, obviously, with the Max Gawn issue. And we'll talk about the rucks a little bit later on. But
they're interesting.
It's opened things up,
I
think. It feels like it's made it right up. It's going to be a unique position as such because feels like people went in different directions.
How good was my rankings, dog?
Not very good.
Yeah.
You picked us the worst one.
Thanks for that.
Anyway.
No worries.
There's injuries.
Didn't help you.
There's suspensions.
Yes.
There's good form. There is stinking form.
Yes.
My God.
Let's talk about some good form. Oh, the Warndogs, 23.94. Solid, up 300 spots, up to 1576 overall, which I'm
good form.
Knocking on the door. I'll get that top 1,000 finish for the credibility. Triple figure finish. That's what it is. Top 1,000, the new top 100.
I think so, isn't it?
I've never seen a bloke swag like he's got a hat on his head or something.
Well, I do.
He's going well. It's okay to be happy, Cow.
Yeah, you don't have to hate on everything. Anyway, that's my highest rank of the year. Somehow you were the second best in this room.
Well,
I'll give you the hot tip. You're not the second best in the room.
Order has been restored here
not in good
on the podcast. Yes, I had 23.40 and smashed Roy.
You did.
Here's a bloke trying to win a hat, right?
Yeah, choking.
And here I am just going, bang! Cop that.
You went up 550 spots.
That's not enough.
No, it's not.
No, you deserve more.
10,000.
There's a bit of depth. There's a bit of depth around this year.
There must be.
So I had 23.31.
Whoa.
I wasn't joking when I was saying it. This could have been an absolute disaster round.
Yeah.
Now, that's not good, but it's far from disaster. So I slid 16 spots to 128, which means I've maintained some sort of touch with the top 100, where I was saying I could have been outside the top 200 if it hadn't have been for some luck on the back of some very bad luck.
Here it is! That's what you did, Jenny. You stuck it right up them.
Stuck it right up, am I right? My goodness. Billy Dowling.
Yes.
+3.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, he is one of the main reasons that I didn't slip outside the top 200 because he came through with an 80 in a time of need.
He did.
Now, when you have 4 starters out, you are going to call on those bench boys. Now, I haven't talked to Billy properly for about 5 or 6 weeks.
Yep.
And I've said, hey, he caught eyes across the field. Billy, come over here, mate. We need something special. We need something special now. Over the first 3 quarters, didn't see a lot of special. I was actually really worried because he's playing a great role on the wing. Yeah. He had a good matchup on the wing. St Kilda. However, it bucketed down.
It did.
And that's not good for wingers. He had 39 at 3-quarter time. Come home, 41-point last quarter. Thanks very much.
Wow.
80 to Billy. +3.
Tom Stewart gets mine.
Oh, is he back in your team again?
I can't believe I actually went back there. He hurt me a lot earlier this season, but we picked up where we left off. It was still a rollercoaster ride because he went through his scoring spurts. The bursts that he had there, 36 in time on of the second quarter.
Oh,
to get to
boy.
where he needed to be. But also then had a 28 in the last quarter. But that wasn't without
it wasn't.
Channel 7 bringing up this little head-high hit he had on your mate Kruger.
Oh, poor old Cruz.
And then
shook him.
The other one, the collision that he had with Schultz. And they've looked at Schultz and gone, nah, you're straight out. Concussion. Oh, hard as a cat's head. Oh, mate, Stewart
was back. Yeah.
Claret pouring out, but he went back out there and racked up those 28 points in that last quarter. So, not even the last quarter. In the last 10 minutes of that quarter.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
I'm going mine with a guy who it's never a safe captain option when you go to Lockie Whitfield.
Oh, no.
But the matchup was there and a 132 from him. So, yeah, that was a stressful watch.
It would be, but he's in great form.
He's been killing it, yeah. Like I think he's on 125 in his last 5.
Yeah,
so
massive.
Yeah, against Richmond, you had to go there.
Oh, Stewart! It was the most disgraceful display I've ever seen. Because it's just not acceptable.
Caleb Sarong.
Oh, why are we doing this again?
Where are you at? You fake premium.
He is
Yep.
fake.
What a pretender.
Yep.
He's so little.
Yep.
Standing next to Nashi here on Saturday.
He
looks
didn't
so
start the year big, but he has shrunk.
Yes.
He's getting smaller by the week.
He's a school kid.
He is, I don't know, 88 at what is supposed to be an absolute pigsty.
Yep.
Down in Lonnie.
How about you take a mark, mate?
How
There's a
about
lot of
you
room
take him
out
out? Yeah. Even had that shot on goal.
Yep.
Hit the post. No, Caleb Sarong, he's just not.
Fraud.
He is, yeah, he's just not one of those Uber premiums that we thought he was. Needs to go.
Now, you know how you used to get into Jack McRae
Yes.
about how he needs to hit the gym.
Yes.
A bit more. Enter Luke Ryan, Roy. Luke Ryan. Now, this is a guy that has gone, 140s, 160s.
Yes, yes.
And I'm like, yeah, you're a great player, mate. I'll pick you in my team.
Yeah.
67. 67.
Not good.
Now, you think Sarong's bad. That's 21
do.
less. 21 less.
Wasn't he scoring
What's he doing? What is he doing out there?
I watched.
You watched it. Did you
Yeah.
yell at him for me, Roy?
No, I was laughing because I traded him back out.
You needed to throw something at him or...
It would have been easy to hit him, I'll tell you.
Yeah?
He wasn't moving too quick.
Right, 67. That's the easiest negative three I've given out all year.
Now I was going to give mine to Tom Powell for his 63, but that's not fair because I shouldn't have him in my team.
That's true.
That's why. So I'm going to give it to Josh Dunkley.
What?
Oh, 106 is my captain.
Oh.
It's not good enough because it was only an 11-point final quarter.
Dunks. That's not dunks.
No.
Crikey.
Not good at all. So, anyway, it is what it is. Especially when I saw Roy, you had a 150 from...
Thankfully. Errol.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Roy.
Oh, you. How about you actually get your captains right?
They're
for
not
once?
too bad.
No, they were awful.
That's one of the first times I haven't towed the company line and I, got paid.
What did you
Paid off.
What did you do? Here's your captains.
Okay.
You went Dunkley at number 1, 106.
See, I can't control his last quarter.
Bont, 100. Got the Chincotta tag. Oh, he won't get the Chincotta tag. Yeah, he did at the start.
But he didn't in the end.
Sam Walsh, 88.
Oh, what's going on with him, Roy?
Don't get me started.
You had Witt at number 4.
Yep.
But then you had Zach Merritt at 91. So, you're welcome with
No.
Errol Gulden.
No, whoa. You should see my top 10. Destroy.
Come home like
Didn't
like
they
a Nic
ever?
Martin.
It was a great top 10. Great top 10.
Wow. Now, speaking of those last quarters, did a little bit of digging because we saw Luke Parker come in as a late in for their game. Came on in the third as a sub and scored 49 points.
Wow.
Great effort.
As a sub.
Yep.
Like, didn't even play the full quarter and was able to do that. But it got me thinking, we did see some big quarters this weekend, and none were bigger than Nic Martin, who had 66 points in the last quarter.
Excuse me?
He nearly got what Luke Ryan did in a game.
He did
Yep.
too? Oh, my God.
66 in a quarter.
That's big.
Unbelievable.
Your man Errol was next on the list, Roy, with a 57. So that was a nice little cherry on top as your skipper there doing that. Quite a few had 55-point quarters, and most of them are in the last
I
quarter.
was just looking at that, yeah.
They all, is
It's
it junk
interesting.
time? Is it just...
Oh, it's beautiful.
Is everyone, we need to probably do some analysis on these types of players that can score big in last quarters.
Well, this is the thing I'll
Is
throw
that
at
where you get the most points in the last quarter?
Well, this is... Errol had one possession last week in the last quarter.
yeah, exactly.
He's had a 50-point turnaround.
Yep.
I keep hitting these bloody players as captains with poor final quarters.
Yeah, it's bad.
I need these big quarters. These 55-point quarters, Cripper, Keys, Rowan, Marshall, they all had 55 in the last quarter. Zach Butters had a 55 in the second quarter, but other ones over 50.
Someone's going to have a 200 again soon.
They will.
Yeah, they will.
Put it together.
Only when I make him my number one captain.
Yeah, true.
Warner had a 54-point quarter. Trent Rivers started the game well, 53 points in the first.
Kaboom.
Liam Ryan had a fourth quarter of 52. Caldwell, his third was 50 points.
Yeah.
Bokey, his final quarter was 50, as was
Travis
Briggs's.
You're welcome.
Stepping it up in the last.
We'll have a quick look at the winners for the week. The weekly winner, Sideways Giants, Ty's team, scored 2,576 points.
You beast.
That's only a couple of hundred off that.
Oh, it's close.
How do they do it?
Yeah, only 3 points ahead of Reece Stanley Premiership Ruckman.
Oh, geez, you're unlucky to lose with a 2,573.
You are, aren't you?
That means our overall leader, Thomas, is retaining his top spot there. Pom United, it's got a 23.56. I beat the number one coach in the round.
You're in form.
You know how many times he's told me this?
But
That's the third time I've heard that, I reckon.
Brady was only 5 points behind, but he's 75 points behind Pom United. So it'd be Dizzle 90 in that second spot there. Very close at the top.
Very
The
close.
Hunt for the Hilux, the race for the Hilux.
That'd be nerve-wracking.
Hat watch, so Roy, this is what we all
Come
care
on, Roy.
about.
We do.
Hell
The
yeah,
team
hell
in-
yeah.
Yes.
Come
Hell
on,
yeah.
Roy.
Yeah, I actually made that for you, Kev.
What is it, Roy? What's the difference?
42 points.
42 points. Win a hat. Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
So, 42 points.
I'll need to turn things around pretty quick.
But you got some big ins this week.
Bloody oath I do.
It was 17 points last week, so it's only 25 points that you sort of dropped off the pace. So that pace at the moment
Which is lucky.
Blake's team, Jackson Nelson, was let go too early is the team name there.
Great name.
37,591 points is what you need for the hat at the moment.
Right. Well, I think a sense of relief is fair to say that I have maintained inside 50 points.
You're right.
I love it.
We'll see how we go as we move on, because, Roy, your trades now are going to be even more nerve-wracking than ever,
Yes.
I would say. Right, votes are in for the Michael Barlow medal. That's our cash cow of the year for round 18. And it's not often you're looping on a third gamer, but Lawson Humphries outscored plenty of premiums this week with 105 after taking a game-high 13 marks, and that gets him the 5 votes.
Zane True got the 4 votes for his 96 points in just his second game for the year after wearing a vest back in round 12. His 21 disposals, 4 marks, 8 tackles were helped by attending a roundabout dog 50% of the Eagles CBAs.
Did that really happen?
It did.
Oh, it's true then. No one would be surprised. Ollie Dempsey is among the votes once again. He booted a goal to go with 10 marks and 94 fantasy points to grab the 3 votes. I should still have him at F6.
You should. Playing on every time for his 9 kick-ins. That's my boy. Colby McCurchy gets the 2 votes for his 89 points at the SCG. Could have been higher if he didn't sit on the bench for the last 16 minutes.
Also racking up 89 points in the same game, good old Matty Roberts took
yes.
9 marks to claim 1 vote.
Now, the leaderboard shows that Ollie Dempsey, Colby McCurcher and Matt Roberts close the gap on Jeremy Sharp with 6 weeks to go in the Michael Barlow medal. Now, there are a few other honourable mentions, I guess we should talk about here, because Sharpie, for example, he was nearly in there if it wasn't for True to have that, because he was very good. He still sits on top with his 32 votes. Dempsey's got 29, McCurcher 25, so it's going to be super close between them. Who do you think gets it out of those 3, the Michael Barlow medal in the end?
Colby gets it, doesn't he?
He should.
I want to know why he sat so long.
16 minutes. It's a long time. He wouldn't have been happy about that.
No, he would not.
No.
Dempsey's been so good, though.
Dempsey, I
Dempsey
just can't
could.
see how
Yeah.
he slows down. He's just that move to the wing. He has dominated there.
Yeah.
I think it's Dempsey.
Yeah.
And shout out to the players that actually just missed out on votes as well. So Sharp with his 87, but then you had Zach Taylor, 86. Billy Dowling with his 80, Logan Evans 80. They were important players because
they're
you
important,
played
yeah.
both of them V8.
Oh, they're required players.
Loman had a 74, even Jai Clark a 73, Manna 70. So that was a good enough step up, Roy.
Oh, it was. Like it was another disaster-saving score, 70.
Here's the news of the week you need to know on the official AFL Fantasy podcast.
All right.
What am I doing chasing a hat playing 2 rookies this week?
You're
Two
not this
rookies.
week now.
God, no, sorry. Player, I just cannot believe I
Cows
was
you
in
will
that
be, won't
position.
you?
I love rookies.
God, they stepped up though this week. Well done to
You
them.
need them in your team, right?
Lockie Schultz is the first one on our news list. He got concussion on Friday night with that head clash with Tom Stewart.
Cut it.
Big cut it. Like a big panther. Now, Tom Stewart was all good. Like, it's an amazing little run of events how that worked.
Could be
there.
delayed concussion.
Nah.
Should have been suspended. Should have been concussed. Big fella's fine.
Now, Nick Daicos. Did you see him put on a performance?
Yes, I saw it.
because
I
he
thought
was tagged again.
A first quarter hammy, game over. But he was just a cork. Big corked in the hamstring.
I mean, it would have hurt, but
Dead
Nick.
leg. Dead leg.
yeah, we've all had them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
They're no good.
He'll be right.
He'll be fine.
Apparently.
I don't know, will he? It'll be a last-minute call.
He'll have a light week on the track.
Yes.
He'll get a bit of media attention and then...
There'll be a lot of drama leading up to him actually playing.
Yep. But he's fine.
He'll be right. Shannon Neal, he copped a whack to the throat.
What about... Oh, sorry. It's like every time. I can't help myself.
Luke Parker, we talked about him being a late in because Wicks ended up being in the VFL, so they made a tactical late change in that game. So he did have a big game, 72 points from 38% time on ground, so massive. We did talk about that 49-point second quarter.
How do they get someone like that in?
Yeah.
Like,
and even
are they
Millsy,
not
that
enough?
Millsy was good, but they
No,
brought in
but
Parker
it's
and
Mills.
Mills this week.
They're sitting
And
3
then they'll
games
get
clear.
Heaney back next week.
Oh, my God. Have Moisey. This is the most loaded team since the 95 Blues. I want someone to have a look at the bloody books.
What happened to the Blues, Roy?
Oh, they're pathetic.
Oh.
Sorry, play on.
Yes.
They're not news. They're old news.
Right, Justin McInerney was the one that was subbed out, so he hurt his knee. He hasn't been bad. Like, he was scoring quite well.
He was
too
doing
in that
well.
Game. He was on track, doing well. Down here in Lonnie, Massimo D'Ambrosia, he hurt his ankle, but they reckon he should be fine. He was subbed out there for that. Drama ahead of the Blues game, Roy, and that was where we saw Adam Treloar. He was a late out, but it was a late out. It wasn't just one at the hour before. Calf tightness in the warm-up.
It was LDU type late out.
Isn't it? So I think coach has had enough time to do some stuff there, but it's another one of those ones where you've got to be switched on to your social media.
Like, I mean, it's not as important, but in my draft team, I've got Treloar, and I thought he was all good. So I would have missed that one.
You're not allowed to have a life anymore, Roy.
No, you're not. But he's avoided drama by his standards this year, hasn't he?
Yep.
It's been far too smooth sailing.
Yep.
Something had to
So
happen.
they think he'll be right, but...
Really?
But,
God, you'd be
geez,
disappointed in him.
would be. Like, coaches were bringing him in this week.
I reckon.
So some either got lucky because they were able to make the change, or you've missed out on that, and now you're going to be sweating on whether he plays this week or not. Tough one. That was a bit annoying, but also in that, the sub there was Matt Kennedy in that game as well.
Oh,
He was a popular trade in target. What are your Blues doing with this? They make all
They're
these
ahead of themselves.
good players
They're ahead of themselves.
subs.
Yeah.
You start every week, though, Roy, with Kennedy.
I do, don't I?
You do. Every single
Yeah,
week.
everyone's
And then
been
people
warned.
go, you're mad, mate. He's had 300s on the trot. Doesn't matter. His last sub came on the back at 200s.
That's it. Bang, back in it.
God damn.
Bang.
Ridiculous.
Zach Williams hurt his hammy, so that happened pretty early in the game. So I did get Kennedy on.
It did, but he's one of those ones, he was out of sorts. He'd come on, he didn't know whether he was coming or going.
He didn't want to be there.
No.
Mason Redmond hurt his shoulder, and the Bombers hurt all of their pride and players all in that.
They could have
That was awful.
they could have finished second on the ladder at the end of the round, dog.
Could have they?
Isn't that amazing?
Somebody said that.
Then the season would have been over.
What, if the Bombers were
A
second?
team that bad sitting second at this time of year.
Joke of a competition we're running.
It would have been laughable.
Yep.
Sorry, play on. That's not news either that's relevant to our show.
Lockie Jones on Sunday was concussed pretty early in the game, so we'll probably see Alex Davies get something from the MRO, you would say, today, later on today. Todd Marshall hurt his hammy. Now, Tim Taranto was concussed. So he was being tagged by Bedford, copped a tackle. That's going to be an interesting one. It's a bit of a fitty type one.
Yes, I've had a look.
What do you think?
Gone.
Yeah.
Max?
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because it was a perfect tackle. There's nothing in it at all.
No, he had no arm free to soften his
So
landing.
Timmy T, who was looking good as well, so he will miss next week now. Stephen Cornelio, he was being tagged by Jack Graham, so that's where the Jack Graham tag went to.
Yeah.
To
Poor old
Cogs.
Cogs. He would have rolled out there thinking,
Imagine that.
Not anymore.
I'm having a day here, boys.
Anyway, he hurt his shoulder. Poor score too. Like, I guess, he was being tagged, so that's why that happened. Later in the day, last game of the round, was Liam Duggan copped that concussion very early and was subbed out of the game, while Tyler Brockman, who was the sub, came on for Duggan. He hurt his ankle.
Gosh, what a day.
That was a day. We're not really going to talk too much about Magoo's news, Roy, but you had about an 85 from Zach Fisher. Do you expect him back?
Look, I 100% do, but I expected him back this week. I didn't know North was so far ahead of themselves.
Why wasn't he there?
Because they got a win and they tried to do what good clubs do. You know, don't change it up too much, forgetting that they were going to play a team, Sydney, that would require players capable of wanting and being able to get the ball.
Correct. Now, off the back of Calvin's genius work... Jeez, you don't sound the same.
No, I don't. A little bit croaky
He's
today.
crook.
And now this is the thing, and I apologise to people, but it is a catchy tune. It will pop in your head at midnight when you just wake up.
You will be wanting to listen to it in the car, but it's not yet available.
No.
On Spotify.
So off the back of that, Cal, you've been calling for this because it's become a much-loved segment here because taggers are back in vogue.
Well, they are.
Somebody said that.
They are, but they're not.
Yeah,
it's funny,
things are
isn't it? It's
changing.
hard to
Hit it
read.
anyway,
Anyway,
evolving.
Tag watch, tag watch. See them coming for you. What you gonna do when they hunt you? It's true.
I don't know what he's. I don't know what I sing in the last part there, dog. But yeah,
I thought it was going to be like what you're going to do when they're coming for you. Like,
yeah.
what did you
Come
do
on,
with that?
you lyrical genius.
I just changed
Or
up.
did that have copyright?
I got stuck in my reggae mode.
You fumbled it worse than my trades.
I
there at
did.
the
Now,
end.
okay. Tag watch. There's not.
What you gonna do?
There's not a lot to talk about.
What you gonna do?
When they're hunting for you.
Hunting for you, I think I said. I'm not
Hunting
quite
for
sure.
you, it's true.
I'm not quite sure.
Crikey.
You're
Now,
the third umpire.
I think you got
Okay.
your arms pinned in a tackle.
the only one I want to talk about here
He's
is
constantly concussive bloke.
Jack Graham. This guy has found a new role.
Who cleared you to come today?
Don't know. Jack Graham. Can we talk about tags?
Yes. Let's talk
Right.
about...
Tag watch, tag watch.
God, you're versatile. I'll give you that with your singing.
Right, you're spot on. Okay, the only one I want to talk about here is Jack Graham, right? Because this is a concern. Because I've had a little peek at your trades story.
Yeah.
Jack Graham's tagging dudes. He's
Yeah,
done
he
it
is.
2 weeks in a row.
Two.
He's never done it in his life.
No.
Right? So,
He's got to find some way to be
against
relevant.
Port Adelaide,
Oh, no, that's not supposed to sound as rude as what it does.
leave Luke Ryan out of this. Right.
He's an AFL player,
Okay.
dog.
Jack Graham, Connor Rozee, or Zach Butters?
It's
Who is
Butters.
it this? It has to be Butters, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Butters.
Butters is the man, but Butters will break the tag.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
the
know.
thing is, when teams are very reactionary to who played well last,
Yep.
so that points to Butters, but he's actually put on, he's back in a nice little stretch here of 3 out of 4 massive games.
Yep.
He has to be the one that's tagged, and he has shown he's vulnerable to a tag as well, so he is taggable.
And he kicks goals.
Yes.
The only other one to talk about would be Chincotta. Where does he go?
So he
LDU?
went to Bont. You said he wouldn't, but
Oh,
he did.
Well, he didn't.
He has to go to LDU.
LDU.
He's their man.
Maybe he goes to the Weasel.
Oh,
Maybe he goes to the Weasel.
well, that's true.
He could go to the Weasel. Other than that, I don't know. Well, here's the other one.
Well, Bedford's going to be out.
Bedford should be out, so otherwise he would go to Noah Anderson. But
We got any of those party poppers left?
Alex Neil-Bullen.
Who? I know.
Who? Right, Alex. He.
I wouldn't have called it a hard tag, though, on Zach.
But anyone just stands next to Zach, and that's sort of day over for him at the moment.
Look like it.
I hate to say
so
it.
who are the D's got?
Well, I think he goes to Sarong.
Yeah, I think he does too.
Like,
Yeah.
kick a man while he's down.
They're not letting him back up.
No. Poor fella can't get away from any of this.
Well, the joke is, they do let him. Other teams have said, here's a glimmer of hope for you.
Yep.
And he'll come out and have 70 and a half. Sorry.
No, not anymore.
Has anyone tagged before? As a junior or anything? Can anyone spell tag? All right, you'll do.
Alex,
Get
you're in.
Alex.
So, yeah, he may get the role with Sarong, which is...
I think he does.
Do we trade him?
Yes, if you can.
He hasn't turned up.
No, for an eternity.
What was that stat? He hasn't gone over 107 since round 8
Yeah, and that was that 140 against Richmond,
against Richmond.
which he backed up with a Graham 70.
Unbelievable. Anyway,
Yes, you can trade him
you can trade him.
if you can.
There you go.
All right, big issues now that we're talking about. We're going to get into what we should be doing with our moves, but we're going to use this. That's right. It's Roy's Rollin 22, and we are rolling to work out who the best 22 is for the rest of the season. That's something that we do aim towards, but a lot goes into it from here.
It does.
Bit of scale of hardness.
Yeah. Bit of instant reward.
Bit of tag watch.
Bit of long term. Oh, there's a
Form
lot going on.
is still part of it.
Do not try to get your head around what has gone into this.
Please don't.
You'll get an instant headache. Might pass out. Just listen. Listen and enjoy.
I can't believe you've got Limp Bizkit singing your theme song. And
You
I've
do
got
your
someone
own
from the
work.
West Indies.
See, that's the thing I never do. I always outsource my singing
That's it,
gigs.
yeah,
I
yeah.
always have for this show.
Yeah.
Now, we'll start in the back line. Whitfield's number one.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
that's one that's shuffled a little bit. It's just so well deserved. We even flagged at the start of the year we thought he was in for a thumper.
Yep.
I think he's gone even above and beyond that, which
Agreed.
is sensational, back to where he should be across halfback. Daicos is 2. Let's just hope no one says they're going to tag him. I've still got Shees at 3. Now, he was down a little bit on the weekend, but that's a tough matchup up there.
Yeah.
And a couple of his key stats that he usually hit were down, but his possessions were there, so I'm not too worried about him. Martin, anyone that can pump those 60s in a quarter.
Obviously the role, he went more forward to do that, but
he did.
Yeah,
and
if
he
you can
does.
still score.
It's just part of the package with him.
He's just a good player.
He is.
Loves fantasy.
He does. Stewart.
What?
Yeah.
No!
I've been big on this for 2 or 3 weeks now.
Roy.
Yeah.
This could be his undoing now for
Do
him.
you know
That he's
why?
in the 22, but
No, it is because of the role change.
Yep.
He has never failed when he gets to play some midfield. It gets him back in the game.
I'm looking at it now.
It keeps him alive.
He hasn't attended a CBA all year.
Yep.
Right? In the last 3 weeks, 85%, 72%,
Yep.
and 83%.
Yep. Never failed as a mid. He's never gone under 100 as a mid.
Unbelievable.
He is the perfect mid because he plays mid CBAs and then he floats back and he's loose in defence again.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
so he's
Someone say dream role.
he's been their biggest banana
Yeah.
for the 3 weeks.
He is Banana Man. He's Eric. I'm not
Big green
joking.
banana with how hard his head is, but
Yep. You wouldn't want to sink your teeth into it. So he's
Eric.
clearly back in there.
Yeah.
This would be, if he ever gets to play a full season of this, he will average 100.
Yeah,
This has been the little flaw in his armour. Now, Sinclair rounds it out despite a very disappointing game.
oh,
on the
what's the
weekend.
go with him, Cow? Bit of roll- That's a hard game to read.
I can't
into
just
as
I
well,
can't just
because
cut him on the back of it.
wet game.
Yeah.
like, it's hard to.
Should have been a lot better. Still.
Gets a heap of these games at Marvel now too.
Yeah.
That's got to be good for him, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was factored in, dog.
Was Nasiah in the mix there with
Yeah,
him?
he's in the
Because
mix.
he could be all right.
Who Hill?
Nasiah.
Nasiah's in
Yeah.
the mix. Yes, definitely.
Under the blanket, some may
So
say.
Yeah.
Whitfield, Daicos, Sheasel, Martin, Stewart, Sinclair are the 6.
Yes. Yep.
Right.
They're solid enough.
Yep.
There's a couple well and truly in the mix that are justifiably, like Newman. Newman could be in there.
Oh, yep.
He was
finished
good.
well last year as well.
He just slowed down.
He had a 50-point first quarter, Newman. But anyway, so he's in the mix. And if you're disappointed that you've got a player there that you think should be in there, don't worry, they'd be under the blanket. They're right there. They're just a key criteria.
It's probably
here
not a
and there has
position
kept
if
them
you've
out.
been happy enough with your players that you're not stretching to try to get one of these other ones, unless
No.
it's Whitfield.
Yeah, you stretch
Is
to get
Whitfield
Whit.
almost in a tier of his own then?
Yeah,
out
he
of that?
is. They're not as exciting as they used to be, the defenders.
No. But you've probably got maybe a group of 10 that you're going,
Yeah.
I might as well stick with
Yeah.
whoever I've got there.
100%. Like
So-
Clarkie's in the mix.
Yeah. So Luke Ryan's in the mix.
No, he's out of the blanket. They kicked him out of the bed.
It's taken up too much room.
They all rolled over and Ryan fell out.
He hit the
They
floor.
threw stuff at him. They've been trying to get him out for weeks, but they couldn't budge him.
Oh, he's in the doghouse.
It's
All
a
right.
team effort.
Well, let's look at the midfield then. And the midfield feels like it's a hard position, Roy.
Oh, it would feel like that, but I got it.
Oh, right, okay.
Now, number one is Errol.
Yeah.
2 down weeks.
He's on a tier.
Cal
of his
gave him
own.
the boot. But, like that ceiling he hits, he's hitting it a lot.
I want people to go back and have a look at his last 6 games, right?
Yeah.
Pick the 2 weeks where I had him as my number 1 captain.
It's just brutal.
Unbelievable.
But he's just amazing. Whether he's on the wing or inside.
Doesn't matter.
No. Dunkley's number 2. I know he was disappointing for your dog, but just with tag watch, he's someone, you hitting it?
Tag watch, tag watch.
Yeah.
This goes in as a factor, though, doesn't it, tag watch?
It does.
Because
so he's not getting it. He's not getting it. And yes, a bad last quarter, but that would be one bad quarter in his last 12 probably.
Agree.
And it wasn't tag related, so it was just form related. Dunks is a stat stuffer. He'll be back for you, don't worry, dog. Merritt, as disappointing as he is, he hasn't hit a ceiling score this year. His bad scores are usually still triple figures.
Yeah.
He was disappointing, but I give him a chance. Bont is there at number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, that's not exciting at the moment, is it?
No.
But the minute you start hating on Bont, he'll go 150.
He will.
And look after you. Now, out of nowhere, and I apologise back during the buys because Lachie Neale was sitting right there.
He was.
At a cheap price. And I just thought, and I think you agreed, Cal, that we did this last year.
Yep.
And he got stuck in our teams and he did nothing but frustrate us. Well, he's now back top 3 Brownlow, absolutely killing it. He's had one bad score in about 7 or 8, and they're big scores too.
He's really looked at himself in the mirror and he's gone, you know what,
Yes.
fellas? He goes, I am elite. I will win another Brownlow.
He's not a liar.
No.
No.
He is that good.
Yeah, so he has to be there. He's forced
does.
my hand. The Lions are in such good form now too compared to what they were at the start of the year. So killing it. Then I've got Rosie. Not coming off a huge one by any means, but looked like it could have been big. Now that's one place before Butters.
Okay.
Oh, right.
Butters is
Why?
Just because of...
Tag watch.
Correct. Thank you. You beat me to it.
Thank you.
And then it's rounded out with,
Well,
the worst of the 2.
hang on.
Blues midfielders.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
The one that shouldn't be tagged but does get tagged, Walsh is still in there. Now, this is a very vulnerable position.
I reckon.
So there is the blanket. It's a king bed for this one. It's a big blanket. It's a big bed. He's there at the moment. He needs to bounce back this week, show some of his early season form, or he will cop it. The reason Cripper has been in such good form, but I just think Walsh is more of a fantasy guy. It's just not showing, and I don't know why the attention isn't going to Cripper. But anyway, Walsh is there. You're right, if you're listening, very weak rounding out of the midfield. Rucks are interesting at the moment, and that's where there's a little bit of differentiation at the minute with Max going down. Marshall is number 1 on the back of that thumping 150. He's had 50 hit-outs, 9 tackles. Absolute beast in the wet he was, and he's got to match up with the Eagles this week.
Name R2, then we can discuss this.
Okay, R2 is ex-area. He's about to go on a big green run.
He is.
He might listen to Tag Watch on the green run.
Right, Cal.
Yes.
Good one.
Thanks.
Cal didn't get it.
He would have.
Right.
I didn't hear. What? Go.
Delayed concussion. Now, Rucks, you stitched us up last week, Cal.
No, I didn't. So hang on. So you're angry that I didn't have Marshall?
You had Marshall at number 5 on your list.
Yes, I did.
And he had the highest score out of all the Rucks.
Crystal ball dog. Look at him. Okay. For the rest of the year, though.
He's got a great run for the rest of the year.
No, he doesn't. It's
Yes,
not
he
as good
does.
as the others.
Eagles.
It's not as good as the others.
Eagles are easy.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. If McInerney can turn up.
So then he goes into Essendon, which are a red team.
When Draper and Goldstein were rucking together? That ain't happening.
Into Brisbane, who are a red team.
What did Flimberger have against them?
Into Richmond, which are an orange team. I
Are
don't
they?
make up the colours, mate, right? That's just the way it is.
Seems like you have.
This
Dog's angry about this.
isn't he angry?
Yeah.
So you lost 39 points between English.
You gave me a green. What about 111? That's a good score.
That's a great score. Don't we have a sook
It
about?
is, especially against
But you're
Pito.
40 points down. That was the thing. That's where we were stitched up. We should have thought about this and overruled Calvin. He was up against 2 rucks. English.
And
For this week.
Pito's sole job is to really destroy the other.
All right.
Yeah, but then you talk about, for this week, yes, English gets the Geelong matchup.
The
this
Geelong
week.
matchup, they don't even have a ruckman.
No. So English, I mean,
Betcha Stanley comes back in.
he
for
was
this
supposed to have, probably. He was supposed to have double DeConning, which is back-to-back 150s when
Yep.
you get 2 DeConnings in a row. I think, Dog, you might be safe because they keep winning despite...
They do.
They've never really rated the ruck department.
They hate
But if
rucks.
Shannon Neal's out with that throat, for example, then...
That's
then,
ironic. Is that really what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And then, old mate Stanley will be saying, what about me?
He will. They'll say, no, mate.
And who's the other one?
Year 2000.
Conway?
Cold.
What's he
No,
doing?
that's just a big step backwards for them.
I
he'll
think
be
he's
fine.
isn't he going to be their ruck moving forward?
He will be
Yeah,
eventually.
but I think now they're third on the ladder. They're
Cal-
back in the premiership window. That big Conway's not winning them.
You
a flag.
talk about Marshall's bad matchups against Essendon and Brisbane. My mate Tim English has Sydney and then Melbourne. Max will be back for that one.
Yeah.
Trade him. It's luxury trade mode, mate.
They're red teams, mate.
We cooked.
They're red teams. Into Adelaide, North Melbourne,
Yeah,
GWS.
that's what I mean. Yeah,
Mate,
that's not a great run.
it is a great run. It's a great
compared
run.
to Marshall, who then finishes with Geelong and Carlton.
Yeah, you'll need him by then.
Oh, you 100% need him by then.
Far out. And what about Nank?
Nank's got a great run.
Nank looks good,
Yeah, it's elite.
Yeah.
Elite.
but it looks as though X could be the man.
Yeah, he is.
He could be number one.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
could. Marshall got him.
If Max
Hard
does
not
get
to.
back,
Hang on,
though, he
whoa,
gets
whoa,
a
whoa,
good
whoa.
run.
So who's number one on my list to get in?
X, but we already had him. Like
Oh, it's not about what you've got, is it?
Like
It's
what
about
most
what other
nil-
people
Oh,
need.
So if you can nail your number one,
Yeah,
that's
let's
okay.
go.
It overrules all the other crap that you push out there underneath that.
And then the rest comes down to the draw. X-Sery, well done, Cal. You are a genius. Let's go.
Where was Darcy Cameron on your list?
So there you go. You could go down that path if you want. Go, why didn't you tell me to get Darcy Cameron?
What about
Briggsy?
Kieran Briggs?
Why didn't you tell me to get Kieran
because
Briggs?
Nank's hard. Richmond are an orange team, you're saying?
Yeah.
Briggsy scored 147.
For this week, you don't understand how this thing works.
Do you know Briggsy just quietly's gone 136, 140?
Oh, he's
No good, though.
he
No
had
good.
14 tackles on the weekend.
He's number
I
one
love
on the-
Briggsy.
number one on the
I
list,
love
Roy.
Briggsy.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, they're the rucks.
There's a
So
few-
where are we gone? Marshall and then X.
Yeah.
What would you call it then, V8? What would you, if you were doing the rolling, keep rolling,
X
Calvin?
is number one.
Yeah, okay.
Who's number two?
English.
You're backing it in.
Yeah, 100% I will.
From here on
And
in.
then I'll go Nang. You guys don't understand what it's like to own Marshall.
No, I don't have good players.
No.
No.
That 150.
Yeah, must have
you
really
won't-
sucked over 150.
You won't see that again. Right? You won't see that again.
Last
he
time
won't,
he went
hit-
150, he went a 170 the week later.
Mate, he will not hit 100 this
Didn't
week. He will not hit 100 this
We
week.
really need Geelong not to make any changes in the ruck department this week for that to potentially
Otherwise,
pay
we
off.
are screwed.
Yeah, it's another big fail. I'm in bad form. At the
Look,
trade
Well,
table.
our form is directly related to that peanut over there.
Okay, look, if they bring
You
in...
give us bad captains, you give us bad rucks.
we had the chance to fix
That's
it. We
true.
sat
No,
down.
I've got this, boys. I got this.
We
He
sat
says.
down to watch the game here.
We
could have.
sat. We talked about it.
We said, and then we were just too bone lazy to do anything about it. To be honest, a bit of that's on us. We just went.
We
"Oh,
said all the
who
lines that we
cares?"
said 5 weeks ago. We said
Yeah.
it would be Marshall. We wouldn't have touched English. We wouldn't have touched
No.
him.
And then we said, "Who's the better player?" And it was hands down Rollin.
2 words. Sucked in.
Yeah, thanks. Forward line.
Oh, we're still going. Yeah, right.
Remember when?
Now, this is the big one.
Remember when I made Caldwell number one?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "What are your
Yeah.
criteria doing?
Yeah.
Refresh that thing, mate." Well, no, he's clear number one now. Flanders is second, Heaney third, Zorko fourth.
Yeah.
Now that's
That's
still just a nice solid.
Yep. If you don't have one of them, that's who you're aiming for.
Yeah. Now these last two spots very interchangeable, but you look at it like this at the moment, and you're probably as comfortable with it as you will have been all year. The last two spots, they're guys that are going to, you're just going to leave them there to rot.
Yep.
Some weeks you're going to get a 70, other weeks you might get a 110 plus.
Yep.
And you just have to ride it out and hope for the best with these guys. So rounding it out currently, and there is a blanket as well, is Myers and Moore.
In that order?
Yep.
Yep.
It is just straight bat, those two. Now, under it, who'd we see? Big Jackson. He was great.
And I think he can still be good. If you've got him, he's still
solid,
good
mate.
enough to be a 5 or 6.
I'd comfortably
You wouldn't-
hold him.
You wouldn't trade him to one of those other two.
No. I would not. And I also wouldn't trade into him with Darcy,
No.
I would assume, coming back. So I'd comfortably keep him. I wouldn't trade into him. If Fisher comes back, he has to be thrown in the mix again.
He's under the blanket. They'll let him in the bed.
They will, even though fishy, stinky. So, but he's still allowed in there, and he's well and truly in the mix. Even that last time we saw him, that was a big score for his. His points per minute were massive. So there's a couple like that are more.
What
than
about
capable.
his teammate then, Simpkin?
Simpkins in the mix. He's
And
under the blanket.
I guess these are the players, and it's a bit like we talked about that.
Phillipou.
Yeah,
He's
well,
another one that stinks, but
that-
he's welcome under the blanket.
Backline.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't bother trading. Like
No.
Simpkin, you're not bothering trading.
Hell
him.
no, not like I did. No, you just keep him. He's looking good again.
I guess there's a few. Yeah, there's a few in that sort
got
of
a nice
mix
draw too.
again like that. Right, that's a Rollin 22. It's pretty good. The only one I was just looking at in my team that
Questions
I've
welcome,
got-
Dog?
well, questions can be here. I've got Tom Green, and he's
Yes.
not in there.
No.
He must be super close.
He is.
He's coming off 127, 106, 107, 123.
Correct.
And he's got some all right games coming up.
He does.
Should he be in there?
Oh, he's under the blanket for sure.
Is he better than Walshy?
Well, at the moment, it's this week. We'll decide that.
Who do you, oh,
I don't
won't
like to be reactionary.
I won't ask you, Cow, who you've got in your team that's not in the Rollin 22, but anyone that you've got in the mix there that you would think is worth.
I'm just looking at a couple of
shout?
names here. Treloar.
Yeah, he got the arse. You can't go laid out, that
right.
late. So he was in it last week.
Yep.
And he gone for
And the
that.
only other ones would be Lairdy
Yeah.
Yeah,
Getting
that's
it done.
fair.
Yeah.
and Jordan Dawson at
Yeah.
some point.
Both of them are in the mix.
Yeah.
What are their scales look like?
I'm not anti Dawson. I'm
No.
Dawson bargain at
Yep.
the moment.
Yeah.
Like I think he's good for a big end to the season.
Fair enough too.
They could be. They do have Port and Sydney in the last two.
Get rid of him by then.
Yeah.
I'm saying that about everyone. Like we've got 14 trades a week. But
Yeah, what happens when we get all this carnage there?
yes.
Shocking. All right, let's have a look at what our trades are then for this week. We have made some tentative moves.
Oh, they're very tentative moves. You want to start, Dog?
Yeah, I'm going to go, and I'm going to play the F7 move.
Oh, are you? You're doing it?
I'm thinking about doing
Hollywood.
this. Well, this is how I'm going to do it. From Freya, he can go to Phillipou.
Yeah.
And then Harrison goes to Zach Taylor. So a bit of bench cover going on there, and then I can play that because I could just get rid of Powell, but I thought let's have a little bit of a loop there because I don't mind North Melbourne's fixture going forward. Not that I think Powell can score that well, but I'm thinking I can play the loop with Phillipou.
Yeah, okay, fair call. Now, I wouldn't mind a move like that as well, but ironically, I don't have the red dots to be looping
yes.
at the moment.
You've got a good team.
Well, not really. So these are very tentative, as you mentioned, Dog, with yours, but I'm going sarong to someone. At the moment, it's Butters, but as you flagged, Cow,
Yep.
I do probably agree that tag is coming there, but I'll tell you what, one is a lot easier to watch than the other. And the second one, obviously, if he's named like I think he will be, Dog, I won't do this, but at the moment, it's Fisher to Myers just to get another Rollin 22 player into my team.
Yeah, and Myers is probably that one ahead.
He is, but
the
it's not
5.
worth a trade if Fisher plays.
No.
What are you going to try to do, Calvin?
Oh, no one really cares. But I'll go Harrison
I
to Zach Taylor. And this is the funny thing, like Evans,
Yes.
my last rookie, to Rosie.
Oh, yeah.
right?
Right.
He's outscored Luke Ryan, like in the last couple of weeks.
Trade Luke Ryan.
have-
Well, that's what I've got to do, don't I?
Nah,
You got to get rid of the rookie
you
first.
do. But I see why you're thinking about it.
Exactly.
Got a question for the traders? Tweet the boys at AFL Fantasy or head to facebook.com/AFL Fantasy official.
Alrighty, let's have a look at some questions here as lockout is lifting, apparently, right as we speak, because there was a little bit of an issue there. Basically, the server.
I'll be able to see that I can't actually afford to do those chats.
Anyway, let's have a look at what people have asked us here. So, this is what Troy does say, Troy Hallam. This is what happens when Calvin demands his score be added up again and again. So blame Calvin for this.
Someone
Have they added it up correctly though, Cal?
They have this week, yes. Someone tweeted me, though, and said that you've been cheating, dog.
Oh, yes.
And they said that his score wasn't added up correctly.
I thought that.
So what did old stupid cow do? Get out with the calculator, didn't he? With his little digits, tap it away, added it up, and guess what? It was correct.
Oh, what a surprise.
I know, what a surprise.
Skippy's got this question. He said, why is to start Lawson Humphries? So, Cal,
Oh, mate.
see, this is where you could play your loop game.
Yes, I do.
Who have you got? Humphries there, Evans there, Schoenmaker there,
Yeah, 'cause
and you've still got a red dot defender. So you could actually play some loops.
At the moment, that's what I do with Evans and Ari. They interchangeable.
Because the thing is with Lawson, the role is there.
Yeah.
And his disposal efficiency is so good that he's going to keep doing it. And the Cats do this better than anyone.
Yep.
Yeah, he's worth looking at for
And
that,
probably
for
should be
sure.
in the rolling.
He's in the mix.
Yeah.
Daniel's got this one. What is your opinion on trading in players for a short-term run or specific fixtures? Is it still too early to be dabbling in these areas, or does it depend on your goals?
No, you can do it.
Overall rank or league wins.
You can do it, but you just got to be a bit smarter with it. Like me doing it with Sarong, like that Richmond matchup would magically help him find some sort of form. That was stupid. So still have a think about who you're actually getting when you chase a bit of fixture.
Yeah. And I guess with that too, you could still be stuck with them.
Yes.
And so if you are thinking where he says if your goals are different overall ranking in league wins, and they probably are, go hand in hand because you still want good players for the last couple of
wanna
weeks.
score
But
well,
you might want to look at who those finals matchups you'll have.
Yeah.
Because if we talked about there, Dawson and Laird, who've got those tough ones in those last couple because they've got Port and Sydney.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe you don't touch those guys.
Possibly.
Well, in both scenarios. Is that, I don't know. That's a thought.
It's a thought, all right.
Chocksberg, who's the biggest priority to trade, Young or Crisp? Looking at going Rivers or Stewart. Rivers is an interesting one.
It is an
would have
interesting
to be
one.
under that blanket.
He is under the blanket.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who would you go?
Young or Crisp out?
That's a good one. I'm going
Crisp
Chippy
had
Chippy.
69.
Yep. And you were right, Roy. You were right.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, you weren't.
I was told on social media.
Oh.
Yeah. That I wasn't necessarily right about Crisp being a good trade out because he didn't score that much less than Young anyway.
Young, he's still got...
Bless him.
Okay. So I should have held for his 69 then. You're right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Come on.
No, you can't win.
Can't
mate.
win.
You can't win.
Anyway.
Who to trade out of those two? Youngie's CBAs were still high.
Yes.
But then...
And he's got Melbourne and West Coast in the next two.
But then the flag is with him. Aren't you doing more? But Chippy's got a nice fixture ahead as well off the top of my head. I'm probably saying you want them both gone in the next few weeks, but Crisp first by a nose maybe.
Yep.
So Jesse's then asking this one, which Freo player goes first? Is it Young or Sarong?
Yeah.
And is that almost that thing of going, you might as well keep Young and Sarong goes because you can get that mid. But which mid?
I don't know.
Unless it's that, who's right at the top? Gulden, Dunkley.
Like if you didn't have Gulden,
Who else do you have there?
I'm all over that.
Gulden, Dunkley, Merritt. Are you happy to go Sarong to Merritt?
Yeah.
Are you happy to go Sarong to Bont?
Just, yeah.
Are you happy?
No,
I think
yes, I am.
you
Yes,
are.
no, I am.
Are you happy to go to Neil?
Yes.
Even with a tag watch?
Yep.
Tag what? Tag
Rosie,
what?
Butters,
Yep.
Welsh.
Yep.
Oh, right, you might as well just do it.
I think you
Pull
should.
that trick, so hold Young
He's
over.
doing nothing. Yeah.
Yep.
Geez, they're cheap, those two. So Young's at 809.
Yeah, I know.
And Sarong's...
We've left it too late.
Yep, Sarong's about the 850 mark.
Yeah.
Now, Johnny T is a legend and it says, thinking of trading Hayden Young down to Dr. Trent Riviera. Is it too risky or a great point of difference?
Oh,
I'm ticking off.
look, it's a point of difference.
He's got a roll.
He's got a roll and he's capable of hitting 120s at the moment, which Youngie, they've dried right up for him. The Dockers do have that good fixture, don't they, though?
They do.
For the midfielders.
They do.
There's a fair bit of green in there.
So they've got the 3 mega easy games in the next 4 weeks, and then it's done. And then they go into GWS and Port at the end.
Can you hold them for this?
I think we need to.
Do you?
Scale doesn't lie.
No. Sometimes tells fibs, though.
Chops. Tom Powell keeps surviving in my team.
Oh,
Should I
doesn't he?
trade
Forgot about
him
him.
this week to Jack Steele or double downgrade and change him to Dunkley next week?
So
You're obviously going to want Dunkley over Steele.
You
yes.
definitely do.
Yeah. Or could you just
However,
get Steele this week
yeah,
and then turn him into Dunkley the
yeah,
week after with another move?
That's the way I'd be more inclined to go.
So, North, who are they playing? Carlton.
They are.
Yeah.
Easy matchup for them.
Well, then Geelong, Richmond, West Coast.
Yeah, I know. That's where it opens up. That's
doesn't it?
why the loop game's on for me a little bit there
Yeah.
because it might work.
Look at you, luxury looper.
Luxury looper with Tom Powell at F6.
Okay, I'd trade him before I do the old double L.
Yeah, but who am I going to? I'm not going to that forward. That's the thing. I might as well keep my spuds to loop with. Billy Dowling will probably end up playing most games. That actually is probably my loop.
Well, there you go. Billy Dowling is better than Powell.
He's looking good. Oh, yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring the rookies back.
LL Cool Dog.
Michael Wyver held Sarong for so long. Should I keep holding him for his easy run? No. You get rid of Sarong if you can. But you can hide behind the fact of going, you've got him for a reason. If he's your M8.
Yeah, it was a mistake.
He's no one's mate. Like, we got to get rid of that. Don't we?
Yes,
Are you doing it this week?
if I can.
Yeah.
Surely I don't go from trying to keep my head above water to luxury trades like that, but it could happen.
Yeah, you need to.
Now, William has got the big four in the forward line and Simpkin and the Pooh.
Oh, yeah.
Looking for a premium to loop with to put on the bench.
In that forward line.
Or it might put Phillipou on the bench or whatever
Yeah.
you're trying to do. Who has the best run of the forwards?
I don't mind Myers' run,
Yeah.
actually. So if you're looking to loop, and he was back to getting up the ground and marking with ease on the weekend versus the Pays. So he would be great to have in LL group.
What about LJ? Obviously, Darcy will be back this week, but he goes Melbourne and West Coast.
He should be good.
As a forward, he should be all right
He
against
should.
them.
He can, and this is the beauty of the luxury looping game, because he can turn in stinkers as a forward.
Yeah.
Like he can have real off days.
Yeah.
But as a looper, yeah.
Nathan's got this one, and a few people have asked about trading Kennedy.
Oh, yeah.
Now, he's gone Kennedy for the Pooh.
Yeah.
Can't go up, sadly. You could, but Phillipou, Roy, does this mean that that's his rest, his vest out of the way?
For Kennedy, it does.
And should you back him in from here? So
Yeah.
if you've got him, do you back him from here?
This is the joke.
I know.
He should get a good few weeks at it now. Like he should have a good month.
Because it would have been a while since he had that last one.
Yeah. Yep.
Is this just what Vossi's doing?
They're that far ahead of themselves. It's not funny.
You were that far out of yourself about the Blues recently.
Dog, why?
He's listening.
Why would you say that? So, yes, he should be fine. Now, if you've got him, I think he's safe to hold.
Yeah.
And he'll be back to good roll,
Yeah.
90 plus, but keep a damn close eye on things. Like, he could get vested again at any time, as you've seen. So, it's a very risky guy to have, as I have said all year.
Ryan's got these top two priorities to trade out. Still have Dowling on field. Okay. Because you're probably not going to get him up to anyone that
No.
you really want. And why would you either in the forward line? All right. Crisp, Young, Viney, Powell.
Pow.
All right.
Correct.
You got me.
Or would you try to get Dowling off field?
I think down. Okay, so he had an 80 this week.
In very
week,
tough conditions.
Last week he had a 49.
Yeah.
And a 64.
Gave away 5 free kicks.
Oh,
in
did he?
that. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's not
looping.
it's not great,
Yep.
but nor is Kapow.
No.
Kapow had an 80 last week.
Oh, that buys him a week. You're
Yeah.
right. No, you are right.
Good run coming up.
He does.
So 2 to trade out. You're going to say Powell?
Oh, it's hard not to.
Yep.
Crisp young Viney. Does Viney just try to become the premium midfielder?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought Viney might have done a bit more than what he has.
Same.
But he just quite hasn't.
Rivers been the man.
He has.
He has.
Get rid of Viney. Rivers, he's well and truly in the mix.
Nozza, do we reckon Tom Stewart's still an option? We'll trade Sexton to him. Yep, I'd tick that one off.
Big time.
Yep.
Well, that's what I did, actually. Ninja Spoon, row to any midfielder. Thinking of Pod. Who'd be a point of difference midfielder? Is someone like Lairdy?
Yeah, Jordan
Laird.
Dawson.
Yeah, Lockie Neal probably still doesn't have massive ownership.
Noah Anderson.
Yep, just
Providing
two-
they're playing at home.
Yeah, if they play all the rest of their games at home.
Manny says Calvin Scale and Roy's Rollin so important each week now.
Yeah,
Gives a
look.
teaser
thanks,
on the
mate.
pod.
That makes
No,
me
this has
feel
been a good pod
really
for
good.
it. We
Yeah.
might get Cow to do a bit more work for the Scale for next week.
Well,
And maybe captains as well, Dog, while I'm at it.
Alex says, I've kept Dempsey the entire time.
Oh, yes.
well done.
Can I keep
Yes.
him as a viable F6 option?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
good on you. And you can get into LL mode with him too.
Good. Yep.
Okay, this is interesting. Sammy's got Sarong weakest link, looking to trade him to Dunkley.
Yep.
But
tick.
would have to trade out Dowling. Am I leaving too much money on the table trading out Dowling now?
No.
No, you might as well have only got 6 weeks to
That's
go.
it.
Do it. Do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I'm going to start culling for fun on the bench where
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
Cash up.
Well,
That
you
could be my
almost
play.
have to get a red dot.
Well, that's true too.
You might have a week where you have to get a red dot.
I know, but if I had have done this a week early,
Yeah.
imagine that.
Oh, yeah,
I would have
yeah,
donated potentially.
Yeah. There's going to be some bad stuff ahead.
There
I can
is,
see
isn't
it.
there?
Johnny, LL Cool Johnny 91. I'm currently outside the top 200 and still don't have a Gulden. Do I just bite the bullet and get him in or
Yep.
take him on
Nah.
as a point of difference? I feel like he's a must-have. I feel
You are
sick
correct.
every time he pumps out a silver
You are
sky.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Bite the
get him.
bullet.
Don't take that guy on.
Yeah.
It doesn't end well very often.
Yeah, a few people are talking about lockout lifting and saying, I'm pretty sure they're just triple checking Calvin's score.
Good. I'm glad someone's actually looking into this.
Just 17 weeks too late.
Check
Leo.
mine while you're at it. It's supposed to be in hat contention, getting green vests. Bloody hell.
Draft teams, how are they looking? Who's making finals? I think
My draft seems
I'm
late.
cooked
Mine's
in
pass.
keeper.
I realised, God, I've been realising late. I didn't even realise with Treloar, but I realised I needed a forward this week. Quickly went in, looked at the best averaging lately, thought it would be a good matchup for big 2 metre Peter.
Oh,
versus-
no. Subbed out in the rain.
Had 20.
Oh, no.
I should have checked the weather. But I should scrape finals of both, but I'm not going to contend for sure.
Rightio. Is Phillipou a legit option? Yep. I think he is.
He's dog's man.
He's Dog's man. I apologise for being so negative about him.
He looks good.
He does. He's an amazing player.
What are they? He's been mismanaged.
Yep.
If he's been this good the whole time.
Well, that's it.
Or you could say it's the making of him. Put
You
him
gotta
in
shake
the
up-
VFL, but
shake
goodness
up.
me, how
Yep.
did they do that?
Don't know.
Perth Pacer fan wants to know who the best F6 option out of Moore, Myers or Jackson.
Myers.
You had Myers in
over
front,
Moore.
didn't you?
Just.
Over Jackson. That's
By a
it.
nose.
Or is there a sleeper? Not really.
Nah, there's not. If
Also-
there's one, we'd know about it up there.
Yeah.
Did ask.
Yes.
Did those potato on a stick taste as good as they looked in Launceston? They're good. They were
You had one,
tornado
didn't you?
potatoes. They're good. Have you had one
Stuck
of those
into one,
before?
did you, Dog?
Oh,
You got busted.
The big demon wanted one really badly, and we missed pretty much the whole
Right.
second quarter because
You
the
did?
line was long.
Yeah.
The line was long, and all I did was sat there on the phone, something different, checking fantasy scores, and listening to the Colby game while
Yep.
the Hawthorn game was going on here, like 10 metres away.
Oh, you were stressing that Colby would outscore
Because-
Stewart, weren't you? That's
Because
why.
all I kept hearing was they would kick it behind, Colby would take the kick in. Of
course he
He'd
would.
get it back in another time, and then turnover. So what happens? It peppers back in towards him. And that's all what was happening in that first, well, must have been second quarter, I reckon. He was dominating.
He was.
That's what you were doing while you were getting a tornado potato thing.
Yes.
And in his other ear, Dad.
Hey, Dad. Can I have a slushie? Oh, they've got donuts over there. No.
Shut up, I'm listening to Colby.
Choose your bloody tornado potato.
I'll tell you what, that's just the thing though. She might as well ask, because if his players are running hot, she'd get whatever he wanted.
I'll get you 10.
All right, we're done. I've had enough. I'm going to go and get a tornado potato now for lunch.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. All right, good luck with your trades. Have fun with that because lockout should have lifted by the time you're listening to this. I hope so anyway. Because we need
and I'm encouraging everyone to go in and check my score.
Yeah,
just go in and add it up for me, please.
Well done, mate. You went well this week.
I smashed you, yes.
All right, good luck and...
Happy trading.